Good evening. Hello. It's Friday. We're back.
Welcome
Fangirlz
to Friday. Fangirlz on Friday.
I don't think we've ever started a show serious in our entire lives.
Oh, how could we?
It always starts with me being like, hey.
I love it.
Like I've
And
never
I'm
done
over
a show
here.
before.
I'm over here trying to get information for. I know I'm typing as I do it. I'm like, where is that? So we have a pick of the month. Our great sponsor, InStockTrades.com.
Yeah.
Check them out. They're the best for your collected editions, up to 50% off, 55% off Omnibus right now on their front page. You can't beat that.
Yeah, and everything comes in great condition, because let me tell you what, this volume 4, I did not order from them, and it definitely is not holding together very well. You can't tell from the picture, but I opened it up today because I read everything today. And I was like, oh, this is not it. This is not the same.
We know where you probably got that from, right?
Amazon.
Yeah,
Jeff
of course.
Bezos.
Okay, Tuesday. It'll be Tuesday. Great. So our pick of the month, we do a pick of the month every month. You get an extra discount on a book that's coming out, and it will be Sue and Tai-chan Volume 3 that's coming out on IST on Tuesday. And you should get it, because one, it's adorable. It's adorable cats. It's about a little kitten and an older cat. And of course, that's everything I need in a book, right?
It's Kristan's brand. Eventually we'll be able to do like a video or like an interview at your house where you're just like, here are all my cat books. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. Just throw them in the air, bathe in them. It's the creator of Cheese Sweet Home. So you know it's good, and it is. And you'll get an extra percentage for like a whole week. So check that out on Tuesday. And also just buy books from In Stock Trades.
Absolutely.
Do it.
Hi, Philip. And Chris.
Hey.
Philip also said Rose of Versailles is a great read during Bastille Day. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Mary.
Hello, James. So yeah, we read, the first 4 volumes of Rose of Versailles. The intention to read all 5, mine did not come in time. So the first 4, we can all agree that these are the most beautiful books.
Oh, they're so pretty. I will say my favorite cover is that volume 4.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I love the blue with the gold and the red and Oscar in the middle, and there's no one else on the cover, because why do we need any other characters in the book but Oscar?
I agree.
Can we just go there immediately?
Also, I feel like the covers are deceptive.
100%. Also, let's talk about more deception, shall we? Let me open the page to the beginning where there's index features. Did you notice this? Where is it? Maybe it's at the end. Oh, it's probably at the end. Okay. Library subject. Every book in the back will have what you should, shelf this out at the library. Like what would be, what genres are within the book, right? So we got manga. We got graphic novel.
Makes sense. LGBTQ is a jump.
That's where I'm getting to. Historic fiction. Great. LGBTQ. I was misled about these books. Should we start there? I was misled.
So Chris and I, we bought these books basically just like because they're beautiful. And I don't regret that.
No.
I'm glad I own this. I'm glad I read them.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Time. Yeah, had a good time.
I had a great time.
Yeah.
I will say, everyone talked about Rose of Versailles for a lot of different reasons, because it definitely was a start of like a change in genre. And it is absolutely inspiration for a lot of things that came after it. Utena being one of them. I'm talking about the anime and not the manga. Although the manga, because that one didn't really give it to us either.
Well, kind of the manga, yeah.
Yeah, but it really, Rose of Versailles has, influenced a lot of manga and anime that came out after it. A lot of LGBT manga as well. So I just assumed.
Well,
I assumed that there was a little bit of, Marie Antoinette. I just assumed that there would be, a thing. And maybe not explicit, but enough that it's
the beginning, right?
Yeah, because in the beginning I thought there was a kind
story.
Of thing. By book 4, Marie Antoinette does not care about Oscar.
Not even a little bit. Okay, so we're jumping around.
Bothered. When Oscar comes back to the palace, she's like, "Hey," I was like,
just barely blinked. And then when that other major thing happened, no one reacted. We didn't get to see any of the. Okay, so I will say, let's start here, right? got to the first volume. This was written in the 70s. Okay. Yeah. You could tell, of course, right? Any product
it's such a cute, it's very old shoujo, which actually I love.
Well, and I was going to say, it's so dramatic and over the top. But I kind of was just, this volume, I was loving it. I was like, you know what? This is a good time. You know, if anyone doesn't know what it's about, so you got Marie Antoinette here. You got Oscar. Oscar is a woman. Her dad raised her as her son, basically. And so she's like a royal guard now, right? And she wears men's clothing, traditional men's clothing, or the, soldier uniforms,
imagine historical nonfiction thing, but really they're like, hey, let's keep this character, like, throw him in there.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And I guess that's kind of what the author does. It looks like she's written some other like historical fiction books.
Yeah, so there was real history sprinkled throughout. Yeah, so with real people.
Marie dies, spoilers, but that still happens.
Right.
So like, the French Revolution, everything still comes to pass as it is supposed to.
And I will say that was my least favorite part about maybe the whole book, was the constant narration boxes of history and what's happening.
I'll be honest.
That's what made these quite dense for me. I'm glad I started early because I'm not a fast reader anyway, and I felt like I had to read everything, right? So heads up, if you're getting into these, they're like over 500 pages each. It's a bit dense due to the narration boxes, really.
And I love history, but I knew the history, so I was like,
bye. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that. But yeah, this was just fun and over the top. You got to experience Marie Antoinette when she was, younger and just so becoming the queen and having to spending all the money. There were problems, right? Which, of course there were. And then Oscar seeing all of this close by and feeling a certain way about it. And I love the progression with her where she started to see people poor in the streets and there are real problems and the queen isn't helping this and
oh yeah,
I loved that progression.
Yeah, I love seeing Oscar adapt because at the beginning you've got your young Marie Antoinette. You get to follow her from coming out of Austria to France, and just her very childlike, she just wants to be free and not be boggled down by propriety and dressing up. So because she was raised that okay, when I'm not out and about, when I'm not doing things for the court, I get to dress comfortably and be myself, which does not happen. And you get to follow her through trying to navigate the court, navigate her father-in-law's mistress, and that back and forth.
And that was super fun.
Oh, so fun.
So fun. I loved it.
Because she just didn't talk to her, and all the reactions are very anime and manga.
Yeah.
This insolent woman never talked to me. And the whole time her mom's like, oh no, shit, I taught her not to respect sex workers. So of course she's going to be into that girl.
Yeah.
And Oscar at the beginning is almost kind of like a player guy in a way. Because she's like, whatever. They can fight it out. I don't care. No one's going to run me.
Yeah, because Oscar just walks in a room and all these women just swoon.
Fangirls for Oscar.
And that's, let's say right now, that's the gayest it gets in here.
Well, and what's her name?
Yeah, so what is her name?
Rosalie.
Rosalie,
yes.
Rosalie, I think. I think it's Rosalie.
I had a little bit of face blindness with this, so it was very hard for me for some characters. Also, when you choose a character that could dress as another character, don't do that.
Yeah, no.
And sometimes people hair color changed.
Yeah, but then you don't know because it's black and white, right? You're just
I don't know.
What?
I have no idea. So that was hard.
That was hard. I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rosalie was poor on the streets pretty much, right? And eventually, I'm just going to should we keep spoiling? I guess we have to, right?
There's going to be some spoilers, but I guarantee this is one of those situations where I can tell you what happens, but it will not be enough.
It won't ruin it.
It won't ruin it. There's a lot here.
There's just so much. That's the thing. Yeah. So Rosalie's mom was hit by what is it called? A
carriage.
A carriage. I was like, is it carriage? That sounded wrong. That's what it is. Y'all, this is a problem. Her mom was hit in the streets by a royal, so that she absolutely hates royals because her mom ends up dying, and so she's like, I gotta get revenge. I gotta get in there somehow. So she, finds her way around and is near Oscar then, right? And Oscar helps her out.
Yeah.
And finds out that she wants revenge, and she's like, well, I'll help you find this royal. And that was a fun dynamic. And Rosalie was like, I'm so in love with you. And Oscar's like, too bad I'm a woman. And
I just can't do anything for you.
Yep, don't have abilities and can't be with you. And
the whole time
Rosalie,
Oscar's like, if I was a man, I would marry you right away.
yeah.
But like, I can't.
I'm like, and 2021 us is like, what? Oscar? So
I know we're jumping around a lot, but basically, like right at the beginning, we're kind of following kind of 3 timelines. And it doesn't make sense where it's going to go until as it progresses. So, of course, you're following Marie Antoinette. You're following her from Austria, into her marriage and beyond that. So she's one of the main routes. And then you follow Oscar, whose route tends to be with the queen, but not always, and does diverge, especially as it continues. It becomes very separate. And then the last one is had like 2 sisters, and they are poor, and they're just peasants in France who. Oh, did I freeze or did you freeze? If it's you freezing, the face is very funny. So, oh no. Somebody tell me you froze. Kristan? Hello? Was it me? Hello? Oh no. Oh, okay, so it was Kristan. Hi. So anyways, so the last storyline, the last kind of focus is these 2 sisters that are like these French peasants, as it were, who kind of both find their way. Hi.
StreamYard was like, literally, an error occurred, but it's not your fault. I'm like, I feel like it may be.
I like his face like. Okay, so yeah, the last storyline is these 2 sisters, and they look very different, and they both kind of find their way into royalty separately, or into nobility separately. We have like the dark-haired sister who's kind of a bitch.
Kind of.
She is. She's snaking her way and lying her way to nobility.
It's bad.
She wants to make a lot of money. She doesn't care who dies, whatever. And then we have sweet Rosalie or whatever, who kind of just gets picked up that way. She's found by Oscar. She's almost dead. Her mother's not doing well, or had already died. I think it wasn't dead yet, but it was like, I'll sell my body. And Oscar's like, I'm a woman. Basically is the reaction. But eventually she gets kind of adopted, and you find out that she's nobility, actually. That she was adopted. And unlike her dirty sister, she does have royal blood. Downside, the woman who killed her adopted mom is her mom biologically. So that,
yikes.
So those are 3
It's
tasks.
a soap opera. It's a soap opera. Yeah,
it is. Absolutely, it's a soap opera. But it's fun.
Yeah, it's really fun.
You've got all this romance and political intrigue and the court drama and everything else, and historical whatever. And you have Oscar, who's just, I like watching Oscar grow. And you've got kind of like, love triangles around, because tons of people love Oscar, and she's like, I'm not into you like that. And we'll get to Andre, because I get very confused with him. And we'll get there. Yeah. And then we have this love triangle where both Maria and Oscar are in love with the same man. But of course, Oscar would never say anything. And I wasn't even aware that she was in love with him at first.
Not at all.
It wasn't very clear.
No, it wasn't.
Until later when he was talking to her.
I love you so much. And it's like, what? When?
Right? And then I thought maybe he would kind of fall for her, and that's not what happened.
Yeah.
But anyways.
I
So
thought that
like,
would happen too, but
just pretend Marie's husband doesn't exist. King Louis
pretty much doesn't. He'll come
Pretty
back
much
sometimes.
doesn't matter.
And it's like, and at one point she's just like, "Well, I'm pregnant." It's like, you wouldn't even be in the same room as him. How did you do that? Like,
and she told her husband too. Listen, I love Fergus, okay, but like we weren't that intimate. I was like, you're a liar.
I don't know. She kept saying it. She kept saying it. So is she? I don't know.
So yeah, a lot of back and forth. And I'm not sure the best way to like dissect this, except for like to talk about characters and instances. But
yeah. And I could go by book too, because I feel like books 1 and 2 were very similar in they're over the top and they're fun and there's a lot of great character moments.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a good time. I'll say I got to 3. There's some stuff that happens in 3. I'm trying to even remember what all happens in 3, but I feel like 3 I still enjoyed. Okay. It just went down like a bit for me.
That's what these guys go bad. A lot happened.
Yeah, I'm like flipping through now.
And I think by then everyone was very separated.
Yeah, and maybe that was part of it too, right? Like, there's all this stuff happening with Oscar and Andre with the one eye and his situation. Andre's like Oscar's right-hand man, really, right?
Yeah, so Andre and Oscar basically like grew up together and they've always been together. And then once they got into like the service, basically Andre kind of like rode Oscar's coattails. Neither of them are nobility, but because of Oscar's success and how cool Oscar is, he kind of gets to like be in the same places as her. But he is head over heels, always has been. And there's a weird progression through the books of their relationship.
It is weird.
But I can't quite follow because when he first really makes a move, I was like, Andre, no.
It was assault. It was assault. I was like, it's a problem. Like, it wasn't quite a move. It was a problem. And then Oscar's just like, like just after that, just not really.
Andre, oh no. And I was like, yeah, Oscar.
It's like,
stab this man.
Have feelings about this. Like, okay, what?
Did he try to poison her?
Yes. Okay. It was such some Romeo and Juliet BS is what that was. Because he was like,
hey, I don't want for some wine, and I don't want to die alone.
Yeah, because he was like, if I can't be with you, you can't be with anyone, pretty much. Puts poison in both of their drinks. He's like, let's have some wine. Come to my room. And so she did. And they start talking. And I guess at some point he gets a conscious. It was like, I probably should murder her. So then it's like, don't drink that. What? It was so... This because these books are over the top. They're dramatic. Again, product of their time.
Falls in love with him.
But yeah, that was like...
In book 4 is like, oh, his shirt's up. I didn't realize. I was like, what?
Like
what?
And like I said, it kind of all started in 3. I still liked 3 for the most part, but there was some stuff happening. But then 4... And 4 is the end of the main story. There's some extra stuff at the end. There's a weird vampire story.
Yeah.
And then book 5 is all extra stories. Okay. So we're covering the main story here. And book 4, the whole time I was like, why? What's happening? And why is it happening? Especially with Andre and Oscar. Suddenly they're like the most in love I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, but just
why? When?
Cannot survive without you.
Yeah.
All because she saw him without a shirt on. If she had not seen him without a shirt on, she saw him without a shirt, and also
and that's like that was it. That was the moment.
Almost got kissed by that other guy. I was like, oh wait, no, I can't kiss you. I can only kiss lips that I know. I've got to kiss Andre, my friend who's losing his eyesight, but doesn't completely lose his eyesight.
It was weird. And she didn't even know that. She was just like, he doesn't have one eye. Because then suddenly she's like, when haven't you been able to see? Like, it was just like...
This whole damn time, girl.
Like, what is happening?
And there's this whole bit before they finally like, do the deed, and he's just like,
Oh.
I have to bed her. I have to have her completely. I can't hold back anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
okay.
so weird. It was real weird. It was, I don't ship it. I don't ship it. It was
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
I feel like because things, I feel like you got to a point where they're like, no, Fargus has to be complete with the queen. It doesn't make sense. I would have preferred Fargus with Oscar, like a switch or
Was
something.
that his name?
I
You
don't
keep saying
remember.
it, I'm like,
was it
was it
Fargus?
Furson? Wasn't it Furson?
You know, I
I
don't
feel
know.
like it was Furson.
Girl,
You're like, it doesn't matter. They're all the same. It's fine. It's
there's so
fine.
many men in this book, okay?
Well, and you're right though. They all like everybody just kind of looks the same at some point, and you're just like, especially Andre and that guy in the military.
Who also starts with an A.
Yeah,
The only way I could tell the difference is because one of them has
The
both
eye.
of their eyes showing. If they didn't take
yes,
away
the
Andre's
emo hair
eye,
over his eye.
I would
right?
not be able to tell Andre from the
1000%.
mask guy from this other guy. I would not know who they were.
1000%.
And so when the
With
other guy, the other A guy, who looks like Andre but is not Andre, kissed her, I thought it was Andre, and then Andre shows up and was like, no, dude. I was like,
I'm with
Who is
you.
it?
So there were definitely some confusing moments. I don't know if that's more like, was it because it was in black and white? Was it because it's from the 70s and everything's weird? I don't know.
maybe.
But
I still love this. I think it's ridiculous and fun.
I still had a really great
Man.
time. We
It's
just have problems.
It's such a fun trip, and I had so much fun with this. I'm glad I own it. I really am excited for when the anime re-releases because I really want to
I want
watch
to see it. Yeah.
And man, Oscar's the coolest. Oscar deserves so much more than everyone else here.
Yeah, and I wanted a better storyline for her,
Yeah.
ultimately. And I think, again, it's just Volume Stupid 4 that I'm in right now. Thank you, Furson. Yeah, that was his name.
Person.
Yeah.
There you go. But I do like towards the end, because I thought, okay, I really thought still at the end that she was going to go and try to save Marie
Yeah.
and be there for her at the end because it makes
Yeah.
sense cyclically. And she gets there and she's like, no, we work for the
Yep.
people. We don't work
Yep.
for her. We are supposed to respect the people overall more than her, and they do.
Yeah, because the revolution is happening at the end. Right?
I
And
really
they're-
liked that because I think
Yeah.
it would have been hard for me to see at the end Oscar, with all that she's done, fight against the people to save the queen at that point.
Yeah,
But
I
at the
hear
same
that.
time, I didn't really get to watch because she only left the queen because she was also in love with the same man. That was the reason she left.
Yeah.
I wish it was more about like the disillusion with the aristocracy.
Literally not about men. Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd
and
be
it was more about that afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
especially with her new crew that she captained, which was a fun little bit back and forth, gaining their trust and respect. But it didn't really happen until after that. And then Marie sucked. Marie
my
lost
God.
all personality
She
in
did,
later in volume 3.
it's
but
it's like
she
she
just
wasn't a
lost it.
character for a while, right?
I
It
didn't
was just like-
recognize her.
Mhm.
Yeah, she just
Yeah.
lost all personality.
Absolutely. And that's
Yeah.
so weird when you think back to Volume 1. It's like, are we even reading the same
Yeah.
story at that point, right?
Does not care about Oscar. I was so sad about that.
Yeah, so, and, again, we have to spoil some things, but, Oscar ends up dying, right?
Yeah.
And no one, we don't get to see anyone's reaction. I'm still mad about that.
Marta putting him in the removes of my man revolution. Yeah, that makes me sad. I feel like
Yeah.
the deaths in volume 4, I wish I had more time with them.
Yeah, I mean, it was like throughout this whole thing, Oscar is really the character that matters the most, right?
Oh yeah,
And
I don't
she's
care
the
about
most. No, and she's the most unique, and she is just the best character in this, of
Oh.
course, right? She's great. So the fact that one, she seems to just die immediately, not immediately, but it was just like a real quick and kind of careless sort of
Yeah.
death, right? And that sucked. That was a bummer.
Yeah.
Real life can happen, but it was just a bummer. But then the fact that we had a jump after that, no, because it was like no one cared that she died because we never.
we was like
any
we
of
gotta
that.
continue with this history until
Yeah.
Maria.
So then this happens in the And it was like, hold up, I want all these characters and these people, like, I want to know how they feel about this. Like, but I need more feelings.
More feelings.
Because I was having feelings.
Because I love Oscar. I think, like, the best thing about this whole book is her. And
100%.
She's such a unique character. She's so dynamic. And she does have a little bit of a change in volume 4 when she falls in love and stuff. But even then, like, you're looking at a woman who is raised as a man who fulfills this like male role, but is respected mostly by people and admired, and she still shows like compassion and emotion, and she does get emotional about things. And I think I really like that it's shown there. And even at the end when she gets emotional because her husband died, they're still in battle, her whole crew's there with her. And I like that because some stories you would feel like, oh, now they just have to make her like, oh my god, but she's not. It's a strength of emotion.
Yeah,
and I know I'm looking too much into it, but
that's the truth.
She's great.
She was definitely consistently the best too, right? Yeah. Like she had a good arc.
Remake this, but she's gay.
Yeah, remake it without. It's Andrea or something. Like, can we just?
Or if it's going to be Andre,
that'd be great.
Take out the part where he tries to force himself on her and then he tries to kill.
I'm not over it. Yeah, not only did he assault her, he also was like, let me just attempt murder real quick.
It's cool.
Yeah, she was like, ooh,
once I saw you without your shirt, and I was like, have you not seen without a shirt before?
It's like, I know that's not true.
Long?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
She's like, whoa. I never thought about it before. Okay.
Well,
also,
I was just gonna say on top of it, like when Rosalie ends up like leaving her house, you know, and she's like apart from her, she seemed to have real feelings about her not being there anymore and thinking about her. And I'm like, is this where it happens? But it never did. Like it never became a thing.
Yeah, and Oscar definitely will go out of her way to use like women's adoration for her when she wants to, because there's this point where her father's trying to set her up with there's no way. I've got too much light in here. Yeah. With these papers are glossy.
They are.
But this very long haired, he reminded me of like, he must have been inspiration for Toga in Utena, the long red haired guy, because I got the same vibe.
Oh yeah.
He's like madly in love with her and he sees her as a woman and whatever. But like, oh wait, where was I going with that conversation? Oh yeah, so and her dad throws this party, and she's like, "I'm gonna ruin it," and she does it by flirting with and dancing with every woman there.
Oh,
and then she invites all of her boys to the party.
Yeah,
after she does it, she literally will go to them, take them away from their date, flirt with them, dance around, compliment them, and then at the end, she's like, "I'm gonna invite all of my non-nobility men that I captain." I'm out of focus now.
Let me try. There he is with her.
There, look at him.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like, because it's that long hair and that pretty boy face, you know?
Yeah. I would have loved if they had thrown in like a kind of an opposite of her.
Yeah,
like an effeminate man to be with that kind of like.
Because they were too similar too. I'm like, you have the same hair, really. Like I'm confused now.
Yeah. But you know. Sorry, I'm late. Notifications are trashy and not working. How dare they? How dare they?
Thanks for coming, though, Hayden.
Gosh, this when you take this, it makes me so mad. It makes me so mad. But also, I love her face still.
Yeah.
And I did, I love trashy romance stuff, and so like, I did enjoy the build up to their relationship, but it did feel weird because I'm like, you did try to kill her.
Yeah.
And you did try to force yourself on her.
I kept feeling that way. And I was like, I can't like this because of that,
Oscar's an icon, a stepping stone to so many more things in manga that come after, in my opinion. Also a total badass. Absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
I feel like I'm so thankful for her because, Utena was one of my idols growing up. Like such an idol to me. So was Sailor Jupiter. These women that are more masculine as far as like presentation and what they do and more princely like, who also have like beautiful effeminate features. So like roses. Yeah. Like roses are very prominent in Utena. Roses are very prominent with Sailor Jupiter. Like it's this sort of just like nice amalgamation of the things. And I like seeing that. I like seeing like, I don't know, because they're not necessarily butch. They still have like this beautiful like look, but they hold themselves very like not to dress. And I love that.
I love that too. You said roses and it reminded me of the scene because it felt like the most random thing I'd read in this entire book. But it also kind of cracked me up.
Oh, she's eating the rose petals?
Yes. Okay, so she's just starting just randomly, like had nothing to do with anything. Just suddenly and I was thinking when I saw it, I'm like, what's she doing? And then the next page, he goes, "Are you eating rose petals?" And she goes, "Is that not allowed?" She like freaks out, and I'm like, what am I reading?
She went totally manic, and that whole thing with him. Out. She was just like, I don't know what to do. I feel so uncomfortable. How do I get out of the situation? And she's just acting up. She throws a fit. She throws water at her dad. Like she's just throwing a damn fit. I want to see that animated or like in a live action.
Oh yeah.
Because that whole scene, because she's like, why? And just forget about me. And he's like, you can't change matters of the heart. And she's like, see, Dad, you can't change matters of the heart. Fuck you. And it's just like. There's all these girls eating flowers, running off on her horse. She's just losing it.
I loved that because she hadn't been able to have that moment, right? Because she's always had to be real serious about everything. And like then it was a guard and was real serious about everything, right? And then she had a moment where she could lose it because she didn't want to marry this random guy.
No.
She doesn't know this dude.
Yeah.
Then they were going to try to make her have babies and stuff. Like, what?
Yeah, she's like, no.
She's like, I don't want that.
I did like the end of that bit where she talks to her mom because she's like, what's the deal? And like, we're just worried about you because things are starting to like heat up. And we know you're going to charge headfirst in these battles. And we just feel safer if you could just be a regular person now and not in the army. It's not about you getting married. It's about your safety and kind of like finding a way to calm you down. And her conversation with her dad as well. Because she's like, if you had raised me as a woman, would you have just married me off when I was at 15, like you did all my sisters? And he's like, I mean, yeah. And she's like, well, in that case, I'm gonna let it go. I feel so happy and privileged to have been awarded the freedom I do have with this, because I would not have had that otherwise, even though my whole life is a little bit non-conventional. But I'm glad they suspended the disbelief with that, because there's instances of people being like, oh, woman, but not too much. Not so much that it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like, which was great. It. Yeah, she was like super respected. So when you had that moment, like when she went into the army, where those guys were just not respecting her at all, but she was still like really gracious and kind to them. And it was like, man, like you're just like, but like still hard, on them and everything. And eventually they come to respect her as well. And that whole bit was like fun and interesting to watch. And she just like had the most character development for sure.
Oh yeah.
Like
I do talk about, there's a couple of like funny bits. One of the first ones I want to talk about is the trial.
Oh yeah.
For Marie Antoinette. Yeah. Where they're like, she's a lesbian, and even say lesbian. And Oscar's like, to say that I'm a lesbian, like Oscar.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Oscar, it took me a while to get down with Andre after you said you loved him and really into him.
In the back of the book, it says
LGBTQ. You're gay. And I want to be like, if she was on TikTok right now, she would have seen the thing about the lesbian master doc, where it's like, no, it was compulsive heterosexuality, actually. You feel like you needed to like somebody because you felt awkward you're in love with the queen. Let's be real.
And I really, like, starting it, I really thought that's where it was going to go. But
I did too.
It super didn't.
No.
Not at all.
I was like, oh, okay, well, she'll find her own way. And then I was just really surprised it was Andre. I was like, really?
Yeah, I was like, out of everyone?
I was hoping it'd be some, like, super macho, handsome guy that, like, had a natural, more of a, like, a Little Women deal. Just like a guy that, like, I don't know, somebody that you wouldn't expect her to be with or expect to be in her, but through time together is like
Yeah.
very cool. Like, no, I've always been in love with you. I wanted like what's what I'm looking for? Crap. More of like a Pride and Prejudice sort of like growth.
Right.
For her. That would
makes
have
sense.
really got me going if it was like this kind of slow burn.
That's the worst part about it, right? It just feels like it just felt out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because it kind of was, right? It was just like, why? Even the Fersen thing, I'm like, why are you randomly in love with him so much now? You met him like once.
I was surprised.
It was weird.
And I was like, this guy's fine. Although, and I thought they might go that way because when she just up as a woman and there was kind of a thing, I was hoping something would develop from that. And I was actually kind of bummed it didn't.
Because he recognized her at the end, and I was like, okay.
I liked that little ship for a second because I was like, oh, okay.
I'm with you. At that moment, I was like, okay.
Yeah, and I saw her later, like, pulling up her hair, and I was like,
yeah. But then never.
Because then they could have found comfort in each other, and he could have, like, recovered from never being able to be with Marie. But then he was still all about her, and I was like, you know you had a moment.
Yeah.
You know.
It's messed up.
Man. I want it back. You know, that's okay.
That should have been, they should have done like a whole extra story of different ships like that. Or like, you know, several mini stories or something. That would have been fun.
So, I opened up the wiki. And I looked at Oscar ultimately enters a relationship with Andre, who Ikeda, the writer, did not initially conceive as a potential romantic partner for Oscar. But his status as Oscar's true and final love was incorporated into the story on the basis of reader feedback.
Oh. Who's reading this? Wanting that.
And there's this manga scholar. That's a cool thing. Saw that like even though it's biological sense heterosexual, still can figure within the story as homogender. I don't know when this person wrote that because that seems like an outdated term.
Yeah.
Because they see Oscar as a masculine woman, while Andre is an emasculated man. I don't know when they wrote that. I don't agree with that at all.
Also, that's kind of messed up to say, right? Because he can't see now? Like, it just, what?
I don't know.
I don't like it.
I don't know.
Not a fan.
But anyways, I love it still. But I hope that there will be an adaptation of this again that is gay.
I 100% agree.
That would be cool. Thank you.
If anyone's interested by us talking about it, we've said it before, but these are gorgeous hardcovers. They're worth your money. There's nice, like look at that shine.
Oh gosh, those are the most beautiful books. Seriously.
They're so nice.
Here, I want to save a couple photos when I upload. But this also garnered a lot more extra popularity when it became like a Takarazuka play. And Takarazuka, I think I've told you before, but it is like the all-female theater troupe in Japan. So they'll adapt a lot of things, especially things like this, but like also Sailor Moon. And I want to go so bad. But look how cute, though.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
And in front of the Takarazuka Theater, they have statues of Oscar and Andre in front of it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
I love that. But yeah, I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, overall for sure. Even though I had my problems, I still think it went down toward the end. But it's still worth the journey, I think. If you're at all interested.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure.
And I mean, this definitely feels like you can see its importance when reading it. You can see its influence.
Mm-hmm.
I just want more of her.
Just let's do more stories with Oscar. Just bring her back.
Read some fan fiction.
Oh yeah, there's probably tons, right?
Yeah. And luckily, like Rose of Versailles is still so popular that like quite often Japan will come out with new lines of like merch or like themed makeup or whatever. So like it's just coming back all the time because people love this style, like this old shoujo style where like it's just these beautiful lashes. Yeah. And it's so dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Love that.
Love it. Yeah, I'd recommend it still. I'd just be like, it's a It's a crazy ride. It's dramatic.
Yeah. Product of its time with a lot of things, but it's still fun. Still very fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad we read it.
Me too. These books are beautiful. They're beautiful.
So pretty.
And they're heavy. I brought this to work with me a day, just 2 of them, and then read the 2 and got home. Oh my god.
They're so heavy. There's good spines too.
Yeah. I'm surprised a company like Viz or Funimation hasn't tried to put some live anime stage play on DVD or streaming online. I'm very upset about that because there's a lot of these like stage productions of anime for like everything. Everything is a stage production. And it makes me sad because I'll never get to see a lot of them. Like some things you can have access to, like the Sailor Moon musical or like bits and pieces of things, but I love musicals. I love stage productions of anything. I want to watch all that stuff. And every time I'm in Japan, either the show that they're going to have at the Takarazuka Theater isn't interesting, or we weren't able to get tickets ahead of time. And Takarazuka's like, it's like made for me.
That sounds awesome.
Can you imagine all of Sailor Moon, like tuxedo mask and everything? Everybody's just like ladies. It's great.
Love that.
Love it. So what else is new? What's up?
I'm like, yeah, what can we talk about now? Well, have you been reading anything else? I know you only read this today, right? So
yeah. Well, I had reread the first like 40 chapters of Chainsaw Man yesterday to do a show about it.
Was that
and
fun?
when I did, my brain didn't work. So I was like, it's still good. I still love Chainsaw Man. I think more than other people.
I'm with you. I think it was just it's such a blast. It's such a weird blast. It's so weird.
Dendry's still my favorite character. The main character's still my favorite.
I'm with you.
Other people like other people. I'm like, no, I think he's dumb. I like that he's motivated by like
dumb stuff.
Like boobs and kisses. And I love that it doesn't work for him. I love that. I think he's adorable. I care more about him than everybody else. I don't care what happens to everybody else.
He's just like Luffy, right? And the fact that like he's just a dumb, lovable idiot, isn't he? Like you just
it's like an innocent perviness. You can be mad at him for him.
Yeah.
You know? I love it. Any Kristan guest appearances on the Collective coming up?
Oh.
I mean, if I can get to where Kristan lives, I'd love to shoot a video or 2.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
I'll come to you one day. It'll happen.
When you do, we will have the most stereotypical sleepover. Oh my gosh. Hey, pups.
I mean, I'll pet all the dogs.
Miss Keisha.
And the cat.
Miss Keisha. Come here. Do you want to be on the show? Come here. You guys, having foster pugs is the best. And I am very attached to these dogs. It's going to be a problem.
Oh.
Look at this. Miss Keisha.
Love her face.
Elliot.
Versailles.
Did you pronounce it Versailles? Yeah, so for people who are watching this who are not from our side of the States, obviously it's Rose of Versailles. That is the French pronunciation. In Kentucky, we also have a town that is spelled like Versailles, but we all refer to it as Versailles. Now, that's not a joke. That's real. Yeah. Everyone says Versailles. So that is what it is. We also have it's not that far from London or Paris, Kentucky.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah. Just so you know. Oh, Kristan, are you going to watch this? I'm going to watch it.
You told me about it. I think you told me about it.
Yeah, right? Where they all wear like
told me about it. Yeah.
The weird makeup heads.
Yeah, I think I have to try it because it looks so ridiculous. Like, I feel like I need to know. I mean, I watched The Circle, so I feel like I need another nonsense show like that.
This is so... Miss Keisha, you were so cute.
Precious. She's a star.
Miss Keisha, did you like Rose of Versailles? Yeah, I think Oscar is so cool. Thank you, Miss Keisha.
Good review. Love it.
They did great in the intro for Near Mint Collective.
Yeah.
Obviously, France pronounces it wrong. But yeah, like I feel like that's most of what I've been reading. I have a bunch more books I need to film my haul this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But Yeah, and I picked up that novel, One Last Stop, that everybody's talking about, but I haven't started reading it yet.
That's on my shelf, but I haven't read it yet.
Yeah.
Maybe we should read it together.
We should. Wow, a normal book.
That's the only way we'll read something, right? Yeah,
that's true.
Just assign it together.
Yeah, I have to either be bored at work, which I'm going back to full time now, so.
Good luck.
So great.
Sad.
In person all the time when I can't move. So I'll read more because I don't know what to do. But no, that's about it. I've been obsessively watching Dimension 20, which is the D&D like role-playing like live show made by College Humor. It's so good. I'm obsessed. I know that you would love if you watched it because you have all the same ships I do.
I like that. Let me write it down so I'll remember. I
will send you my login. It's great to have on in the background too.
I'll try it. I like that. I like long form videos, yeah. Putting them on in the background.
It's not so long because like Critical Role is hard to get into because it's each episode's like 4 hours and it's like 100. This is more like, okay, 2 hours and it's 13 episodes.
Oh yeah.
And they all have a twist.
Way better.
So like I watched all of Fantasy High, which is lovely and you would love it. There's a character named Kristan in it.
Oh.
Kristan Applebee's.
Fun. Wow.
She's great. And gets a girlfriend. Spoilers.
Love it.
But it's like, imagine if it was like a John Hughes like Breakfast Club movie, but D&D races. So like they go to a high school, they go to Adventuring Academy. They should make a comic out of this. I went for a second to do it. And they all have their different classes and stuff. They're all trained to be different things. But they're still very much like teens, but with like a modern twist instead of like typical D&D format. Amazing.
That's fun.
And I'll try it the whole time.
For sure.
My whole comfort show now.
I love that.
But yeah, that's been it, really. That's what I've been up to.
Yeah, I hear you. I finished Atypical.
I didn't finish it. How do you feel? Can you give me like a non-spoiler how you feel?
Yeah. I feel like, okay, so apparently the creators knew this was their last season.
Because I was pretty sure they were told it was going to get canceled, right? And that's why we had the last.
Yeah. And I'm like, did you know before you wrote it? Because I feel like, yeah, there's an ending. Okay. And I don't hate the ending. I just feel like it definitely could have used another season. I question why they introduced a lot of what they did without giving us the time to be with it. You know what I mean? Or give me like 5 more episodes or something, like add on to your season run.
Yeah.
I understand that's not, but it just, so it felt a little weird. It was like, this didn't feel like a final season really until the end for me. I like a lot of what happened. I think there was some good character development, but there were also some things we don't even get answers to. And it was kind of like, okay, you knew it was ending. Like they're not like huge things. Most things were tied up, right? But there were just some things I have questions about. I'm like, but what happened here? What about this? And you can, we'll talk about that later. But it's just kind of like, okay.
That's a bummer.
So at this point, I'm just kind of bummed it's never coming back. And I'm like, what's Netflix? What's your deal? Because I don't even think they were told they were canceled. They were just like, this is the last season. I don't know that was like their decision. Like it may have been the creator's decision or Netflix's.
Yeah.
It has not been to what I've seen because I tried to look it up.
I never know with Netflix. I never know when I'm getting another show or not. I have no idea.
They don't usually have like really long season runs of shows. So I'm kind of like, maybe they were just like, well, 4's it. We don't do many more than 4 most of the time. I can't even think of another show actually that had more than 4.
Well, all my favorite ones get canceled so early. My favorite Netflix shows are like Sense8, The OA, and they all got canceled early.
Santa Clarita Diet. I'll never forget.
They'll never finish it.
Forever. That ending, I was like, really? We don't get to see what happens with that? Like,
it's a bummer.
I'm so sad about it still. I'll forever be sad about it.
I know.
It was so good. It was such a good show.
I know. Hayden, we did.
Yeah.
But if you know us,
we're mad about it.
You know that I don't hate a lot of comics. Usually it's like I was a fan of it. I hate Chili Convention Sabrina. That's my root beer comic.
That's your first. Yeah,
I really don't like it, and I don't even know how to really articulate why.
I didn't like it either.
Hated it.
Well, I also want to say, okay, it's been years since I've read it.
That's true. Same. I read it a few years ago.
So my thoughts are just the feelings I had, right? I couldn't tell you anything about it other than I really didn't like it and I was bored. I was just real bored. It's like, what is happening? Yeah.
I love the show.
No interest in continuing that.
Love the show. Kristan, have you finished Kim's Convenience?
Yes. Oh, which had the better ending, Atypical or Kim's?
That's the big
Atypical
question.
had a better ending.
Dude, that's good to know.
Yes, but I think Kim's also again didn't know they were ending, right? Exactly, or they kind of were able to.
I don't think they knew until like
toward the end, maybe.
Yeah,
where they kind of had like we can pretend this is like a little wrap. So I didn't hate that, but I'm more mad about Kim's Convenience because I'm like, no, there were big things that happened that I need to know more about in the next season. That'll never happen.
I hate that the whole staff was upset. Just maybe.
Yeah.
I didn't know they canceled the OA. Yeah, which sucks because I'll never get closure with that, and I think the OA was kind of my comfort show. I really recommend it still because it's just different, and I don't even know how to articulate what that show is. But there's a thing that happens at the end of season 1 that I would watch whenever I got really bad anxiety. I'd just rewatch that scene, and it was such a family feeling. I don't know how to describe it. But the OA fans are like dedicated, and they're always looking for like signs that maybe it's coming back or it's going to be finished somehow. I would read a book. Like I wish more of these people were able to like.
That would be
at
great.
least have book.
Continue in that way, which I'm sure there's a lot of
fans get closure.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of rights and stuff that we don't understand that's wrapped up in a lot of that, but that would be
Or at least tell me what was the plan.
Yeah, like do an interview and tell me everything.
Like Lovecraft Country, my favorite show of last year, got canceled.
That's crazy. I thought that was doing well too.
I think it was, but I think the next. They ran out of things to like adapt because they just had the one book.
Yeah.
And then the plan for the next season, from my understanding, I could be wrong, but I heard they thought it'd be too divisive. I mean, it's a very racially charged thing. I think that's why they did it, which is a bummer because I absolutely adored it. Definitely my favorite thing of last year. I thought everybody was so talented, amazing, and all those actors are going to be in big, big things right now.
Mm-hmm. That's
just
cool.
like our boys in the King of the Conqueror, which is really cool. But it's gone. Sad.
No, it's definitely sad.
You were saying something and I kept talking.
I'm trying to remember what it was. I really don't remember.
Well, we're going to be back next Friday, talking about One Piece.
That's right.
That is the...
Punk Hazard.
Thank you.
Yeah, I remembered. I usually don't.
And we will be joined by Tina.
Yep.
AKA White Cat Cosplay.
That's
She'll
right.
probably be in cosplay. I'll check with her to see how much time she needs to put on.
Oh, we'll also have a manga bro.
Yeah.
Adonis wants to be here, so he's going to be here. He's very excited.
Tina got into cosplay for last night's Chainsaw Man show.
Oh man, I have to watch it.
She had time and so did Eye Patch. Don't watch it. I was out of my mind tired. I had no spoons, if you've heard of that term. I had none. I was just wiped. And by the time I got there, I was like, I am dead inside.
I'm so sorry.
And I think so was Red. And so we were both just like...
Hey, it happens.
It was nice. But also, I live streamed the night before too, so...
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Been there.
But yeah, so we'll be back next week. Don't forget to check out In Stock Trades and our pick of the month on Tuesday. And keep being cool human beings. And if you find any gayer version of Rose of Versailles out there, let us know.
Definitely let us know. Also, if you want these nice books, though, I did get all of mine on InStockTrades.com. So
they're beautiful.
Some of them are probably
it's worth it. I know we had some complaints.
Yeah.
But that didn't take away. Like I still think it's beautiful. It's still worth owning.
It's a fun journey. It's going to look great on your shelves. So if you're into that,
absolutely,
for sure.
So yeah, have a good night, everybody, and thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for being here.